My new book, called The Naked Now, Learning to See as the Mystics See, is probably a book that, at least I told the staff here, I don't expect it or need it to be a big seller. But it's a book that I knew I needed to write. And let me tell you why. As I look at the nature of our political discourse, as I look at the level of conversation, even in the church, between liberals, conservatives, on almost every issue, it seems that our pattern of thinking and our pattern of speaking is what I call dualistic. It's either or. You make one point on the other side, and then you think all the truth is over there. And then you angrily respond from your side, and you think all of the truth is over here. And what mystics and holy people learned is that's not a good way to think. In fact, it's not a good way to know. It's not a good way to be in the world, because you make problems out of almost everything. So the book, it could be titled a book on non-dualistic thinking, which at this point in history, we almost all have to be trained in. We have to be taught. It doesn't come to us naturally. And in fact, the more educated you are, usually, I hate to say it, but the worse you are, because high level of education makes you more glib, more certain of your dualistic opinions. And that's why the saints, the mystics, they read reality through a very, very different lens. They received the whole moment as it is, warts and all, good and bad. They didn't immediately try to pigeonhole it or position it up or down, in or out. It is what it is. Now, we have to be taught how to see that way. But I promise you, when you can start reading reality with that pair of eyes, first of all, you're going to be much happier. You're going to be much more peaceful, because you don't need to prove that you're right and someone else is wrong. You receive each moment with a kind of contentment, even though you recognize that it has its limitations, it has its dark side, but everything does. So this is no big discovery. I've discovered the dark side of your issue. Well, of course, that's a given. And so non-dualistic thinking allows you to accept the given state of reality. And the given state of reality is there's a good side and there's a bad side to everything. And if you can first of all receive the moment that way, what happens is, to put it positively, you can be present. You don't have to be resistant or oppositional or negative or afraid, or you don't have to, as I say, split or divide the field of the moment. It allows you to live with a kind of mental peace and emotional peace and heartfeltness that, frankly, is, I think, what it means to be a human being, or at least a human being that's pleasant to be with, and draws life and love out of situations instead of just difficulty and problem. So I hope the book, The Naked Now, is my little attempt to just open this conversation. It's certainly not the best word on the subject or the last word, but it's the word that I knew I had to write. And especially for a Christian audience who for some reason think that non-duality is an Oriental or Eastern notion. We had it in our Western Christian Catholic mystics, but they just never used that word. And all I'm doing is using the word so you can recognize, that's what's different about the very way this person is receiving the moment and giving back the moment. That's non-dualistic thinking. That's mystical seeing. I hope that helps.